Right, next section is the meaning of symbols. A true philosopher should recognize the symbolic transparency of beings, and this recognition acknowledges that the wisdom of God is fulfilled in creatures, and every symbol should be able to open up the one who is being symbolized. Wow, that's a mouthful. I'm going to read it again here. A true philosopher should recognize the symbolic transparency of beings, and this recognition, the symbolic transparency of beings, acknowledges that the wisdom of God is fulfilled in creatures, and every symbol should be able to open up to the one who, in capital letters, is being symbolized. The opening of the one who is being symbolized makes it possible for man to see him. Quote, but Barlam says this light was a sensible light, visible through the medium of the air, appearing to the amazement of all and then at once disappearing. One calls it, quote-unquote, divinity, since it is a symbol of divinity, close quote. We can see how the question about the created nature of the light on Mount Tabor brought in the discussion about the nature and meaning of symbols. Quote, for Barlam, a symbol could only be something other than the reality it represented. So for Barlam, a symbol could only be representing for something, right? Something other than reality it represented. Quote, what saint, asked St. Gregory, has ever said that this light was a created symbol? When all the saints agree in calling this light true divinity, how do you dare to consider it alien to the divinity, calling it, quote, a created reality, a, quote, symbol of divinity, and claiming that it is inferior to our intellection, close quote. St. Gregory admits the challenges of using the term symbol. Quote, this is why the choir of inspired theologians have almost all been wary of calling the grace of this light simply a symbol, so that people should not be led astray by the ambiguity of this term to conclude that this most divine light is a created reality, alien to the divinity. Nevertheless, the phrase, quote, symbol of divinity, wisely and properly understood, cannot be considered absolutely opposed to the truth. Quote, for every symbol either derives from the nature of the object of which it is a symbol, or belongs to an entirely different nature. As to signs which are not connatural in this way, and which have their own independent existence, they are sometimes considered symbols. Thus, a burning torch could be taken as a symbol of attacking enemies. If they do not possess their own natural existence, they can serve as a kind of phantom to foretell the future, and then the symbol consists only in that. A natural symbol always accompanies the nature which gives them being, for the symbol is natural to the nature. As for the symbol which derives from another nature, having its own existence, it is quite impossible for it constantly to be associated with the object it symbolizes, for nothing prevents it from existing before and after its object, for that is impossible. As soon as it has appeared, it at once is dissolved into non-being and disappears completely. Thus the light of Tabor is a symbol. It is either a natural or a non-natural one. And if someone says that this light is an independent reality, separate from the nature of him whom it signifies, of whom it is only a symbol, then let him show where and what kinds this reality is, which is shown by experience to be unapproachable, and not only to the eyes, and which alone shone forth from the venerated face of the body of Christ. For otherwise, if it were an independent reality, eternally associated with Christ in the age to come, he would be composed of three natures and three essences, the human, the divine, and that of this light. So it is clearly demonstrated that this light is neither an independent reality nor something alien to the divinity. Close quote. The Taboric light was not simply an external phenomenon, but an, quote, an hypostatic symbol, which means that it was real even if it did not have an independent existence or hypostasis of its own. Quote, clearly this term is not used to affirm that it possesses its own hypostasis, close quote. An hypostatic reality occupies a place in between the self-subsistent and the accidental. In the case of the Taboric light, it both symbolizes and is divinity. It is accessible to perception yet transcends. As an hypostatic symbol enables the beholder to participate in the divine.